What is your most memorable trip that you can remember that involved an airplane?
A trip that involves an airplane. 2 weeks ago I took a trip that involved an airplane, and that was to go to Washington, D.C. I had never been before, and neither had my wife. My wife was skeptical of Washington, D.C. She thought that it would be boring. Monuments, museums, but I think she enjoyed that trip more than me. We saw many things that tourists would see in Washington, D.C. The first day that we were there, we saw Ford's Theater where Lincoln was shot. Right across the street, the Peterson House where he died. History was made in both of those locations. When we sat in Ford's Theater, in the center, and could see up where Lincoln sat, you could envision Lincoln there, hearing a shot, then John Wilkes Booth jumping from that balcony onto the stage. You could envision it. When we went across the street and walked into the Peterson House, we walked into the parlor where Mary Todd sat with her kids while Lincoln was dying in a back bedroom. Then we walked into what would be a kitchen area where a general was interviewing people, trying to understand what happened in Ford's Theater. Then you walk back to that back bedroom, and you can see the bed where Lincoln died. And it was a very short bed. Lincoln was a very tall man.
Right.
They had to put him at an angle on that bed because if they would have laid him long ways on the bed, he wouldn't have fit. And then you saw a picture of the people that were in that room when he died. And when you stood there, looking at that bed, in that room, you could once again envision what had happened. The trip that I took recently where I flew, and it was memorable, Washington, D.C.
That's awesome.